You know, we don't get Broussard a lot on this show. He's very successful and very busy. He just doesn't have a lot of time for us, so we get these rare glimpses of our friend. He's joining us now, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. So it is just a pleasure to have Chris Broussard on. By the way, he does a show with Crazy.
I left you 10 messages saying, Colin, when am I coming on again? When are you putting me on again?
No, you got to. I saw you first things first. You're crushing it. We love it, and undisputed as well. So let's talk about the Lakers last night. Well, my takeaway was, listen, they've had AD, LeBron, experience, age, size, length all year. It's when they shoot well that you don't want any part of them. My problem is last night everybody shot well. Okay, everybody shot well. Why can't they do it more often? Like that, to me, I watched last night and I'm like, oh, they're 29-0 when they shoot 50%. Why don't they shoot that well? Is it a coaching issue? Is it Kuzma's just not the player we think he is? What did you take of last night?
I think you hit it on the head. And the bottom line is they just don't shoot it that well. This is not an aberration. We know how much they struggled with their three-point shot in the bubble, but they were 23rd in the league in three-pointers before the shutdown. So at the end of the regular season in March. So they just are not a very good shooting team. And we know it's becoming more and more of a shooter's league every day.
Yeah.
And in the bubble, it has gone even more so that way.
Yeah.
So, and remember, they're playing against a horrible defensive team as well in Portland. So, look, I'm not trying to downplay how well they played last night. They were great, but they still have the normal question marks, which are, one, are they going to hit shots outside? Two, is Anthony Davis going to be great in the fourth quarter?
Right.
We know he will in the first three. Will he in the fourth? And then after that, free throw shooting, I think we already know the answer to that. Even last night, they only shot 67%, 20 of 30 from the line. As the games get closer, that could become a bigger problem for them as well.
So I defended the Rockets this morning. I said, listen, the Clippers don't have Patrick Beverley. He's a very important defensive piece. The Rockets don't have Westbrook. He's an offensive igniter. This is what the series should look like without Westbrook. I do think Houston will win. Or is there something deeper beyond my analysis other than just, hey, no Westbrook, it's going to be a tight series?
Hey, Colin, I picked Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Assuming Westbrook was going to miss the bulk of the games, I picked Oklahoma City in 6. And if he comes back for the last 3, we know it's now a 2 of 3 series. If he's back for all 3 games and he's himself, then you have to give Houston the edge. But if he misses 1, maybe 2 of these games, I'm sticking with Oklahoma City, not necessarily in 6, but to win the series. They have found an answer to the Rockets, and it is small ball of their own.
Yeah.
Their small lineup with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, and Lou Dort, who's a really good defender, I actually like that 5 better than the Rockets' small 5.
Right.
Without Westbrook.
Yeah.
Give me Westbrook, and I'll give the Rockets the advantage. But that group is more versatile. They shoot the 3. They got more guys that can create on their own. And Chris Paul is a mid-range shooter, whereas the Rockets aren't going to make any adjustments. Mike D'Antoni is going to continue to shoot the 3 no matter what. We saw they finished the game 5 of 26. The only adjustment they can make is Westbrook coming back. And so I think the Rockets are in for a heck of a dogfight and could lose depending on Westbrook's status.
By the way, I love what Brett Brown said yesterday. When they ushered him out, he said, I'd like to thank the 102 players. It's a joke. This league has always been talent first, but chemistry, as we've seen, that's why the Lakers are good. It's not because the roster is great. The chemistry is excellent. Right. I mean, he took a shot at Philadelphia and said, 7 years, 102 players. He's not wrong. He's not wrong, Chris, is he?
No, in that the blame goes all over the place in Philadelphia. First, the front office with letting J.J. Redick go, which was their shooting. Jimmy Butler, they couldn't find a way to get him, worked into the culture. They didn't have a strong enough culture to handle him. You see Miami does, and he's been terrific there. Overpaying Al Horford. Some would argue even overpaying Tobias Harris, although he's a really good player. So the front office is not absolved of blame. Joel Embiid loves to float around to the three-point line 50% of the time. And I've blamed it on Ben Simmons having to play down low for the most part. But when Simmons isn't there, Embiid does the same thing. He lets guys like Daniel Tice push him out to 15, 16 feet on his post-ups, and then he faces up. He's not playing big enough of the time, and a lot of that's on Embiid. Ben Simmons, the fact that he doesn't have a jump shot yet, or even taking jump shots yet, has to be put on him. So I get it. There's a lot of blame to go around. But if I had to do blame pie, the biggest slice would still go to Brett Brown. It is your job as the head coach to connect with your players, to get Ben Simmons to understand the importance of getting a jump shot, to get Joel Embiid to understand the importance of playing down low 85% of the time and punishing people like Shaq would in today's game. Look, you can talk about the front office decisions all you want, but when I look at that roster, they've got talent. Tobias might maybe a little overpaid, but he's a great third option. Al Horford, how's he fit? But he's a very good player, and Josh Richardson is good. Matisse Thybulle is a good young player, defensively great. It is the coach's job to bring those guys together and maximize their potential, and Brett just hasn't done it. So I do think this was the right decision to get rid of him.
So, Luka's fascinating. He doesn't have Porzingis.
And tonight, I don't know if you just saw, Porzingis is ruled out of tonight's game too.
When you talk to all your NBA sources and your coaches, are we seeing something here with Luka that is just beyond really good basketball? That is like, I don't think LeBron had this many elements to his game offensively at his age. I don't know if Larry Bird did. When Magic came into the league, many people thought he couldn't defend, and frankly, he couldn't shoot. Has there ever been a player like this at 21? I'm not sure there has been, Chris.
Look, I have said, and I've caught flack, that Luka Doncic, if you take LeBron's second year and you count that as his 20-year-old year, I think Luka's the best 20-year-old we've ever seen. Now, if you say LeBron's third year when he was second in MVP voting, averaged 30 points, okay, you can give the edge to LeBron. But Luka, we haven't seen this. And Magic had arguably the greatest individual performance ever as a 20-year-old when and I don't mean just for a 20-year-old, but for any NBA player, but he did it at 20 when he was a rookie, Game 6, MVP, all that in the finals. However, for that season, Magic wasn't even rookie of the year. It was Larry Bird, and Kareem was the MVP. So Magic didn't even lead the Lakers in assists his first two seasons. It was Norm Nixon. Luka Doncic is the truth, and I would argue the best 20-year-old we've ever seen in the NBA, depending on where you go with LeBron's season. Look, I've called him, Colin, the new age Larry Bird. First of all, the attitude. He is not scared of brothers. He believes he can outplay them just like anybody else. He'll talk trash to him. I love his attitude. He's got everything in the offensive game that you could want. The handle, the passing. He's not as good a shooter as Bird, but he's a much better shooter than his 32% three-point average says. He's a very good shooter. And like Bird, we know he's not what we would call athletic today as far as speed, quickness. But his strength, his feints and slights and his startups and slow down and, all the moves that he has, he can get any shot he wants against any player, even the most athletic defenders. Look, he is outplaying Kawhi and Paul George.
He is.
They can't stop him.
I know.
This dude is the truth, man.
No, listen, and by the way, Porzingis is out, and you're asking him to carry a team over the best defensive team, best defensive roster in the league is probably Clippers. I don't think you're wrong. It's fascinating that Magic didn't lead the Lakers in assists the first 2 years. That's
think about that. That was Norm Nixon.
You forget we forget. And Magic came into the league and took over the league. Right? He literally wasn't the MVP of his team. He didn't lead the Lakers in assists, and he didn't win Rookie of the Year. And Magic was great when he walked into this league. Now I'm with you. This Luka, it's in a lot of it. Let's be honest. He played as he was a 15-year-old kid. He was playing against men.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it has molded his game. All right, Chris Broussard. Good.
I always leave you with a nugget, Colin. You know that.
That's right. That's Chris Nugget Broussard is what we've called you for years. Good seeing you, buddy.
All right, man.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.